All right. Looks good. Let me get out of this thing. Set up. The live looks good. We should be good to go. So for those who are here, we'll leave some time for people to join in. I'm just going to get SPY pulled up just so we can see the overall market, see what's been going on. And yeah, let's give it a few minutes for people to jump in, and we'll dive into some plays. We'll dive into some stocks that have been running. Been a very weird past couple of weeks, honestly, for small caps in general. Stuff that I've been trading, it's been kind of shaky, and the election definitely hasn't helped that. But that being said, there's still plenty of stocks that are running. NEO, absolutely killing it the past couple of weeks. We'll talk about that one a lot here for sure. How's it going, Christian? So quickly, I'll leave this up for a few minutes while we let people jump in. And also, those who do jump in, please hit the like button. It helps a lot. We get people in here faster so that we can get more ideas flowing. Hopefully, we get a lot of people, having some fun, getting some good ideas tossed around. So right now, what I want to talk about quick, and we'll look at futures and whatever. It's like down slightly after hours. I wouldn't even bother, but worrying about it. But this is actually pretty interesting. So based off of SPY, and I have hopefully the bigger screen is better because I've gone from like my custom layout, which is like it works for me because I have a big screen, so like I can see it. But I know on like mobile and stuff, it's tough. So here's hopefully a bigger screen. So hopefully this is helpful. So now the way that I like to look at this stuff is just draw on the lines, find the support resistance levels, and see if we can find any patterns and trends from this. So what we're seeing right now, we got EVs are just, that's the thing. EVs, we had some weed plays. We have some bios are heating up right now. Vaccine news sparking some bios and stuff. So that's been pretty big. But right now we have SPY pulled up. So this is actually a perfect setup potentially. We'll see what happens because with SPY and with the overall market, right? Like technicals are cool, but at the end of the day, like anyone can announce news. Anything can happen. There could be vaccine news. All of a sudden, what if we have some crazy other news, and for whatever reason, for any sector, anything happens. The Fed does this. The Fed says this, and to be honest, the Fed's been, I feel like, somewhat political. As much as absolutely that's not the point of. I don't no reason to get political. Like at least for these types of things or these videos, I don't really. It's just I don't want to get into that stuff. But it seems like the Fed is kind of starting to hint at hey, we need some more stimulus. They've been saying that Powell's been saying need stimulus. And now that Mitch McConnell is technically in charge of stimulus talks as of right now for the White House, he doesn't want a big deal, but you kind of have Democrats who want, and so it's we're honestly it's a mess, man. But ultimately, this setup looks actually really good because we came off of support here. We moved up. Kind of made no sense how we moved up, over the past couple, last week after, during the election and then after it. It was kind of crazy. You thought it would plummet off of the volatility. But if SPY holds up right around this level, it looks like this trend line, right? It bounced off this level right here, 351-ish, 350, I would say ish. Is perfect. So you break out, you make new highs. Now you come back and retest the prior area of resistance. That area holds as support. If it does, boom, awesome, boom, back to the upside we go. That would be ultimately awesome if that worked out, if everything worked out that easily. So we'll see what happens. But that's kind of potentially my thoughts. If not, maybe we come back down and kind of just hold up around, who knows? If we just kind of stay steady and kind of stagnate for a little bit, that's certainly, a possibility. So that's that. All right, so now let's jump into some of these. So let's talk about AYRO. This is one that I actually was eyeing up, and it's actually kind of a pain. So look at this. This has actually been a beautiful one off of this dip here to that 250. Absolutely beautiful, starting to move up. Beautiful play. So we'll see if this one has continuation. After hours down 1%, so nothing crazy. We'll see if it gets continuation into the rest of the week. So that's one that I like a lot. I liked it a lot down here. Personally, right now, either you're in it or you're going to play it for a day trade and scalp it. I wouldn't be playing it for I wouldn't be initiating a swing position up here. Just think about it. You're up $1 off of where it was a week and a half ago. Does it make sense? Be smart. That's how I would see it. We can get news. We can get further move certainly, but you're starting to get a little more risky as you move up. So there's that. What else? EVs in general have been on fire. Solo is one. That was the one that's been on fire for sure. NIO has been on fire as well. Look at this thing. It's been absolutely just tearing. This is actually not accurate. Let me look at the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart will give us a better idea of what's been going on. We're at 49. We hit 49.50 here in after hours today. That's nuts because there it is, 49.50. And so it looks like it made that magnet right for that, $50. It's shot right there. We had some price targets at 40, 46 or something like that. Some analysts and whatnot. So, yeah. ATIF I actually like a lot, and the thing that's kind of a pain, I'm in it in a different account, but it's a little bit smaller than I want to be, because this account that I've kind of been growing here on the channel the past year plus, I'm transitioning from margin to cash because I just felt that would be the best move for me. And so when I do that, right, what I had to do was I had to liquidate all my positions. I did this last week. So I liquidated all my positions, and then I had to request the account switch. And so then what happened was it's roughly 6 business days time frame for it to switch over. So I can't make any trades or withdrawals during that period. So it's this account's just sitting here empty, but I have some other ones that I'm messing around with on the side, more for just longer term swings, building out some longer term positions. So FSR, I'm in. What else? Hyliion, I'm in. I've been NIO, is XPV. Those are some that I really wanted to grab more of, but it just I thought we'd get a bigger dip, and we just kept ripping up. So that's that. So ATIF. We'll talk about ATX too. Here it is. So the reason why I like it, and of course there's risk here. There's certainly risk. It's a China play. We had some bad China news. I think Trump said something about China. You can't invest in You can't invest in Chinese companies. I'm not sure the extent of that. I just saw some news about that earlier. I got to look into that. And see how that, what happens with that tomorrow and stuff. But so the idea with that is this thing is bottomed out, offering just closed. And so we got to, could we fall down further? Yeah. But it looks like we're holding up support at that 66-ish. And, we're bouncing around from 66 to 70 cents. So we hold up in this area, and then, any news, low, this is a stock that has a relatively low float. This stock they love to release news. Any news, we could get that spike. Could we also not? Yes. So I would recommend having your sell order set at some point here. I like to set it right before resistance. So for example, for me, I want to have a sell order set here before 85, because if we get over 85 cents, then we're in this nice gap. So it looks like we should shoot towards $1. So I would have a sell near 85, and then I'd have a sell, just shy of $1 or so. Not for all my shares, but I'd have, a good chunk there in case it did get there in pre-market, or get there, and I wasn't paying attention, or whatever happens, or after hours, who knows. At least it hits your sell order, you lock it in some profits, and then you can kind of reassess, okay, what's going on? Why is it running? What's the news? That's all it really is. China stock, these stocks can run. That's why I like it a lot when it does. So, that's that. Now, is it probably a great company? No, it's probably not. But you can trade it. That's the whole point. So let's see. LI will beat earnings. I don't know. I know a lot of these. I can't wait to see what happens with what's been going on with LI. Did it have earnings today? Because it's up huge. It's up 27% today, and then it's up 11% after. That's nuts. Is it just sympathy play? It might just be a sympathy. Let me take a look. Let me pull back up here. Let's go to LI and see press releases. So they're doing so that's tomorrow. They have the earnings tomorrow. So I don't know. I wouldn't like holding that unless you're a long-term investor. Then it doesn't matter. You're going to hold their earnings anyway. So if you're going to hold their earnings anyway, fine, just hold it. Who cares? But if you're going to be trading it, options or just shares or whatever, I wouldn't recommend it. I would watch, I think NIO, right? Even LI too, right? These are stocks that if earnings are good, so be ready. You're going to get more than just a quick pop and drop. You'll get more of a continuation run. So even if you're a few seconds late, right, to the first big pop, right after earnings are released, you can still get in there and get your couple percent and get out if you wanted to. I'm sure that's still going to be there. And a lot of times we get overreaction, so it's better to kind of just wait a second to get that direction. Once we get the confirmation of that direction, boom. So that's how I would preferably play that stuff. SBE as a SPAC here. It's in my green energy watch list, or I guess. So that's nice. It hit 18. So we talked about this one recently. We had it bouncing off the 50 SMA, and there it went. It hit 18. So I can probably get rid of some of these lines because it's not really worth having all these lines in there after the fact. I mean, it's kind of been all over the place in terms of the chart. It hasn't been very predictable, but it felt, it had support here at that 50 SMA, which has been beautiful. So it popped to 18. I like that, but now it's coming back down. We're seeing a lot of these plays come back down. So what I think my thesis is here, and I don't want to get into any political stuff and people, because I honestly, I shouldn't even title the video today that I had, the green energy stocks. I shouldn't have put Biden in the title because you get tagged as election information on YouTube, and I don't know if that messes with the algorithm or whatever, but whatever, it is what it is. And people, commenting, I don't want to. I understand everyone's got their political views and stuff. We're not getting into that. I'm not getting into it. Whatever happens is going to happen. We can trade off of that, and that's the whole point. That's why I made that video. So this is one of those. I didn't put it on the list, but it's also a great one too. I just think that it may come back down a little bit more, and these are not necessarily stocks that are buy it right now. I'm sure if you wanted to start buying them now, these green energy stocks, right, for the long haul, they're probably going to be fine. You can probably get a better entry though, and I'm thinking that as we get closer to Biden taking office, as long as everything works out and checks out, right? He takes office, once he's in, or once we get confirmation that he is going to be in 100%, right? And there's no one trying to stop that, right? Once that happens, I think you'll see the weed plays run, you'll see the green energy plays run. They'll get their second leg, and I think that leg could be bigger, but that's what I'm thinking is going to happen with these plays. So let them come down, let things cool off, it's fine. We got confirmation that they can move pretty quick, and they can make some nice runs. So there's money to be made here, but let's be a little bit more patient and let them come back down, and then we can capitalize on those runs as we get closer to that point. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. FUV. FUV is an interesting one. I think a lot of people like it. I think it's going to take some time. They need to get a couple more earnings, a couple more quarters in, I think. So FUV, here's what we got for FUV right now. Here's we're kind of in this range. I mean, you can probably bring this line down even farther if you wanted to, but I'm putting it just roughly there. So, we're coming back up towards the top of the range. So if you're looking to trade the range, you'd be looking to probably sell it here, and some people are. But if you're not, then you're looking to just hold this one long term, no big deal. You hold this one long term. I think it's a solid play. Personally, myself, I'm not in. But if we can break out above this top line resistance and get over these highs right here, this $8 or so, and then $8.50, and then eventually $9, that's really going to be a nice breakout to the upside. So the chart's setting up nicely. The chart really is. It's setting up beautifully for someone who wants to play a technical breakout to the upside, especially if you get a catalyst, if you get some news or something to kind of bolster that, right? That would be huge. So I am still in ADTX. It's taken its time. I mean, these things, it's a patience game. It's a waiting game for a lot of these stocks. It's a dead bottom. I mean, it's a stock that I think is primed and ready to go. It's just a matter of time as to when it comes. But again, we're seeing cases on the rise. We're seeing some bio plays heating up. And so for those who don't know, ADTX is they have an antibody test, a COVID antibody test. And it actually detects, it's not just a yes or no, it detects a little bit more. I don't know the details because I'm not, I don't get scientific here, but it detects a little bit more, so it's seen as a better alternative to some tests. And so the idea here is that they applied for emergency use authorization. We get news of that, which should be coming soon, or ideally should have happened already, but it is what it is. We get that, this thing will go. It may just take until potentially into next year. I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but it seems like it's fine. I mean, there has not been a bigger drawdown that we've seen. We're dead bottoming here. Under $2, I think, is a great entry. I'm just kind of waiting on it. So that's that. And ADMP, I'm still holding that one as well. Issue is that they have results, right? They have, I think they have data coming. They also have the results for they have their PDUFA on the 15th. The date for the PDUFA is on the 15th. So you can hold through that catalyst. You can hold through that period. Just understand the risks. I think we're at a pretty good bottom, I think. But again, I wouldn't be going in massive holding through the data. I thought we'd get a bigger run up. But also I've seen a lot of pumpers. I don't want to say pumpers, but I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and stuff talking about it. Here's the problem what I have with these people on Twitter. And you can look at it to people on YouTube, on any social media platform in general. When you're talking about these stocks, they can move the stocks. They can. If somebody with 100,000 followers says, hey, I'm buying ADMP today, and I've seen it multiple times over the past couple weeks, some guys, I'm not going to name names, but I've seen them tweet, and all of a sudden you see a quick spike. It really kind of, to me, I hate that because it ruins the play. I think we would have seen more of a run-up, and I think we did here. We saw that run-up, and then I thought we would see a bigger run-up now, or like a second pop now. We're just not seeing it. So it looks like the catalyst is going to be on that date or when that comes out. So we'll have to see what happens with that news. That's my thoughts on that. I wouldn't be holding it massive. I wouldn't have your entire account in it, but it's something that I'm still in. I'm playing that play because these are big catalysts, and we get that approval. This is big, right? So that's why I am in ADNP. SNDLs kill me. I'll look up SNDL. I think it's fun. I mean, here's what I think about SNDL. I want to see it come back. I mean, I know people don't want to hear it, but let's see it come back down to this 50 SMA, okay? That puts it at like 23, 24 cents, okay? That's where I think it may come down. Could it come down further? Yes. I think it's going to come down. It's going to hold up at a higher level of support than it did in past couple weeks ago. Then we'll get hopefully the second push on these replays, the second kind of push, like I was saying. Once we get a confirmation, as long as Biden takes office, of course, not getting political, but if that goes like it is potentially on track to do, I guess, as of right now, then I think we see a second push for the weed plays, and we see a second push for the green energy plays, because now it's confirmed. He's there. We know that's happening. Okay, here we go. So I think it's fine. It may suck if you want to just cut it, average down, or whatever you're comfortable doing, cut it, and then look to re-enter. That's another way to go about it too. So I am not in it right now. I want to get in, but I'm going to let it come down. I think at 24 cents is a better entry for me at that 50 SMA. That's just this blue line right here on the daily chart. That's why I like it. So it's worked as a great bounce point in the past. That's why I think it should be hopefully a good bounce point again. I think we'll see though. That's of course up in the air. Let's see. I don't know if I would become. I don't know enough about the company to be honest, and I wouldn't recommend long-term investing in it because a lot of these stocks. I mean, if you zoom out, right, and you look at the history of it, you just look at it. It's just been on a downtrend. It's been actively downtrending for a long time. So I'm just not gonna I wouldn't mess with holding this one long term unless I really really had a deep dive into did a deep dive into it to understand. But I wouldn't mess with it personally. So I would just be trading it. So short term trading, the sector gets hot, you play it. That's how it kind of goes. Especially with a stock under 50 cents. Generally, they're not long term investments. That's just kind of like the gut feel that you kind of have to have, right? Chart. I'm using Webull. So I have a link down below. This is my perfect opportunity for my daily Webull plug. So I'm an affiliate with Webull, so I get a free stock. You get 3 free stocks when you sign up and deposit $100. So we all win. It's awesome, and you can help build my account because this all gets put into my Webull account, which I show you guys week by week how it's progressing every single week, up, down, left, right. I don't care. we go over it all. So that's how it works. That's this platform. I have videos on the channel going over how I make this customized layout, which I have all this stuff. I have a video going over exactly that if you're interested. I'm just using the bigger chart so we get a better sense of what things are doing and how things are going. Online education, yes, I think Boxel, BOXL, is getting ready to go. I think it's going to happen again, and here we're seeing it again. Off that 200 SMA, that's just this orange line. That's the 200 SMA, and we're popping above the 50 SMA now. So we're starting to see some volume coming in. We're perking up, and we're moving up, which I like. But I think this one has, this is a stock at the beginning of the pandemic, right? Well, not the beginning of the pandemic, but it happened back in the summer. And if we were to zoom it back, pandemic crushed it, but then people started realizing this is an online education play. And so, hey, everyone going back online, this is actually looking really good. I like these little recurves back on up. So it's looking good. The question is going to be, though, can we break above and can we push up and get above this $2 and eventually $2.15 or so, which are these tops. It's double top we have right here at $2.15 or $2.12. So that's the next area that if it starts making that recurve back on up, then yes, that'll be the next test. Now they do have, they like to drop news sometimes too. I've played it a couple times for news and stuff in the past, so I like it though. Ideally, it's up 12% today, 3% after hours. Ideally, get a better entry. But if you're in, just look to ride and take profits along the way. That's how I would play it. I kind of am late to the party on this one, but I'm gonna be probably doing a lot more. My anticipation is I'm gonna be doing a lot more like scalps and a lot more day trades. So take my couple percent and move on. I'm not going to be trying. I'll keep my main swings. I'll keep my core swings, a couple swings, maybe 5 swings max. But then on top of that, I'll be looking to scalp, take day trades here and there where I see opportunities. And so this one, if it drops news, if BOXL drops news, or if I see it running up and it breaks over this level right here, that's an opportunity for me to take a day trade or for me to quick scalp 2%, 3%. In and out, make my money and move on to the next play. Or write up some shares. So that's kind of my plan on some of these. And I'm looking to do Sony right now. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I think, I don't know. Sometimes you have a release like that, like you see with other companies too. You kind of get a sell into the news. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me see. Sony is SNE, right? This is Sony, right? I'm not mistaken. I don't know all the ticker symbols by heart. I wish I did, but I don't. But it ran up pretty massively from 72 to like 90. I don't know. It seems like it has support here 85, so I wouldn't want to see it drop below 85. Then we have some of these tops right here, so I wouldn't want to see it go far below 85. If it holds up over that, that's a solid support. I don't know. Not something that I would traditionally probably play myself, personally. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not into that space either that much. I don't really have. I don't really play too much video games. I don't really use the consoles very much, so I can't appreciate them as much as I know some people are like, oh, this is awesome. I can't appreciate it, so I don't really have like a much of an opinion there. Not bad. It's not like, hey, I hate it. No, but I don't know. I'm not as in tune, I guess, with this space. Based on the chart, $85 holds up. That's good. BYND. I know. A lot of people are looking at BYND, especially with the drop. And here it's funny. It fell to this support level like we had right here. People were talking about it. Boom. We charted it, and must have been a recent live because I generally don't look at BYND. So we charted it in a recent live, and then boom, it came down like, okay, it's not perfect, right? Trading is an art. But it pretty much came there and bounced immediately right off of that level. And now it's back up and it's getting into this gap. So it looks like we have a gap, back to that, 140 or so. So we'll see what happens. I like BYND. I think this is an emerging. This is like a longer term play. I think personally, I know you have people who think it's trash. I think it's going to be a long term play. But if you wanted something similar, I also really like TTCF, Tattooed Chef. Similar kind of industry, right? Similar kind of thing. But it's I think this could be a competitor down the road, a big time competitor potentially with a lot of growth. Like see what BYND is. This is a stock that's sitting down here close to that support level around that $16 or so with massive upside potential in my mind. So for those who don't know, look a little bit into TTCF and see what you think. Take a look at what they're doing. Take a look at that stuff. I like it. I'm adding it to a long-term portfolio. That's just my play as a speculative, but nothing huge, a speculative play, but it's a chunk of my portfolio. I'm looking to ride this one up for the next couple of years, ideally, right? Not just the next couple of weeks, months. That's a longer-term play for me. Same with BYND. If I was going to hold that and buy that, that's a couple of years. I mean, a couple of months to a couple of years type of play, or buy and hold stock. Is the NEO and XPEV hype as real as the stocks say? I don't know. I think they're going to come back. I really do. I mean, yeah, let's be honest. Let's look at some of these charts. I mean, this is actually. Let me look at the 4 hour because we'll get a better sense on the 4 hour. We can see everything. Beautiful breakout. I mean, just absolutely beautiful breakout in XPEV. And they had earnings today to kind of catapult that. So they had earnings for that. So. And I guess I looked at them, they were pretty decent. We're talking about like these stocks that we're looking at like some of their numbers, and we're looking at like their percentage increases in deliveries and stuff, and sales and all that, and revenue, and we're like, they just look kind of ridiculous. But you have to take a step back and say, hey, like, with these exploding markets right now, EV markets exploding, not only in the U.S. but in China. Just if you start looking around, right. You're probably seeing more Teslas than ever on the road. You just see more of them, right? It's just, you're starting to see, and these are some companies in China, which has a massive EV market as well. I like them for the long haul. I really do. These are two that I love. But the only thing is that it's hurt me actually because I've been saying I love my site. I love them, but then they continue to go up, and I'm waiting for dip. So here was your dip on XPV when it came back to $30. That was your dip. And same for Neo. When it came to 38, which I saw it do 3 times, it came boom right here, boom, boom. When it came down there, honestly, it actually happened there too. That was your dip, and at least for now. Maybe it comes back again, but it looks like for now that was your dip opportunity. So I don't know. They're just absolute tanks. I think they're insane. They're going to pull back at some point, I think, and that'll be the opportunity, I think, to load up when we see more of a consolidation period and a load up period. But at the same time, these are stocks that people missed the run on Tesla. They're trying to get in. So we're seeing a lot of hype. I don't know. I wouldn't be playing into it too much up here. But at the same time, if you like it long term, which I do, and I'm sure a lot of other people do, you're going to buy it here because you believe in a year. In 2 years, it's going to be worth more anyway. So you're fine with buying it. So if you're going to start buying it, but be ready to add on dips or just accumulate as time goes on. That's how I would see it. But at some point, we'll see. Yes, run those likes up. Appreciate that. Let's see. GAN. Let's take a look at GAN. Let's take a look. So it's actually looking decent. So it's consolidating right here, putting in some higher lows. Not perfect, but we can kind of put in. We have some higher lows developing, which we can put something like that in for right now. It's not, we don't have that much data for it, but that's decent. We have, this. We're coming to like a point. If we can put in like a little bit of a wedge right here, we're coming to a point on the 4-hour chart. So I would anticipate tomorrow we're going to get something. Either we're going to pop up or we're going to pop down. That would be my anticipation. I don't know much about it personally, so let's see. Let's zoom out a little bit more and see if we can come to anything. It doesn't look. It doesn't look bad. In terms of oversold, overbought, it looks like it's a decent buy compared to where it was. If you trust in the due diligence, you trust in what they're all about, then there you go. So I think it's fine. It's coming to a point though. So if you're looking to actively trade it, then it's getting close to something happening. It looks like for right now, based on what we got going on there. Let's see. NCTY, Riot. Okay, yeah, so the other thing too is the Bitcoin plays. Let's look at Bitcoin really quick. Bitcoin's over 60. Okay, so Bitcoin's pushing up here actually. Let's zoom out. Let's go to the 1 hour. So Bitcoin, like as we speak, is like literally making new highs. Well, not new highs, but it's making like relatively new highs. So we're waiting on these Bitcoin stocks. So we're waiting on the Riots. We're waiting on the Maras, the MARAs. They're waiting on them to make a bigger move, but they actually look fun. Like Mara looks fine. I think Riot, they're going to go. I think Bitcoin, unfortunately, because it's been kind of overplayed and talked about a lot, it just may need to get to 20K. It may need to get close to 20K, I think, before these stocks really, really break out and explode. I think that they certainly can, and it looks like they're trying. So tomorrow could be a big Bitcoin day. Based on what we're seeing, Bitcoin running up, these stocks, Riot and Mara, my favorites in terms of correlating to Bitcoin. So Mara's holding this trend line. It's at this trend line, looking really actually like this is the most appealing stock I would say in terms of Riot or Bitcoin or Mara. If we just look at the risk reward, I like Mara a lot better. So that's why I've been liking that one. And that's looking pretty good. A bigger move to the upside, breaking out over this 330, and then we can see a massive move towards $4 and $5. I think. So let's see, NCTY. This one, I believe, we are going to start to see some curl. Look at the daily. Look at the curl. It's looking beautiful. So we had $2 support, and we're rounding the corner here. We're curling on up. So now I want to see us push towards $3, and then I want to see if we can get over this $3.50. We get over that, then it looks like $4 is a clean shot. So those are my next levels on that we got to push up. It's looking really strong. We got some volume coming in. The chart is looking like a beautiful curl. Now, if you want to play this one and be in and out for a couple percent, that's probably a better move than initiating a swing here. Just be ready to day trade it if you want, because if it gets going, you might want to be taking profits quick. But it can easily get rejected at some point up in here, maybe $3, and then it can come back down towards $2, and that could be a great entry as well. If you get it back towards $2 support, that could be a better entry down the line, right? So if it does do that, but we'll see what happens. So as of right now, it's making a nice move. It's curling. It might have some momentum into tomorrow, down a little bit after hours, but we'll see how that goes. GEVO, I haven't looked too much into GEVO since I played it a while ago. I swung it and I played it a while back. It's holding up decently though, so let's take a look. It's holding up decently. We have some higher lows. It looks like it's trying to get back towards $1. I would want to see it. It's like 95-cent support right now. I want to see it hold 95 cents, and then I would ideally want to see it get over $1 and hold up over $1. That's what I want to see for a GEO. I know people who like it longer term than that. I just haven't looked at it like that because what it comes down to, guys, and at least I find the most I've been finding lately, the most the best way to go about it is to really kind of narrow in on a couple. Like, you've done the due diligence, you really like this play based on technicals, fundamentals, whatever it is, and hone in on those few plays. You don't want to be in a million things. So for me, I'm in a couple things. Outside of that, I'll day trade stuff here and there, but I'm not going to be like spreading myself thin like I used to in the past with like 30 different plays or 10 to 25 different plays at once, because it gets to be too complicated. When the market's hot, it was great, but now when the market's kind of cooling off, it's not the best strategy. So pick what you like, do the due diligence, look into it, and then as long as the technicals make sense, at least they help support the thesis, right? You're good to go. FSR, I mean, this is a stock that it's been beautiful because so I'm waiting on my transfer in this account right now, or waiting for the account to change over, so I can't trade for a couple days. But what we're looking at here is we're starting to kind of progress, and we're breaking out of this kind of top line resistance. So this is what I'm looking for. So we're going to get over this level. The question is tomorrow, though, can we actually open up above like 15.15-ish, like these highs right here, like 15.20, 15.30? If we can open up, like we finished after hours at 15.30, if we open up tomorrow at like 15.30 or 15, around, like, and hold above that level, that's awesome. That would be an awesome sign, which would mean, we keep zooming out, we have now broken above this level of resistance, this downtrend, which is awesome. Awesome reversal off the lows. I think this is just massive manipulation. And it's fine. I mean, I held in my longer account, I held and I added down here, and then I added back in here too. And, feeling great, feeling strong about that position. I love it. Super excited about this one for the long term. But again, it's also a long-term play. I anticipate this one potentially becoming like we're seeing with NEO, XPEV, at some point making a similar run. Who knows what the price is going to be in the price action and things like that. But, those plays, we saw them all of a sudden. We're seeing delivery news, and we're like seeing, oh, crap, like, they're really getting a ton of deliveries. And those deliveries are going up month over month and, quarter after quarter. And so it's looking like, it's looking great. So this one may be one of those that, even though there's no production here until 2022, which is the downside. That's like the biggest downside with FSR. They don't have production until 2022. But take a step back. Is this going to be a Tesla competitor? I don't think it's going to compete with Tesla hand for hand, right? Pound for pound. But it's going to be another EV play for like U.S. markets and for other markets too, not just the U.S. But it's going to be an EV play that I can totally see these cars around the roads in a couple of years. I can totally see it happening. And they have more models and more designs coming. And so as long as things go to plan, I like this one a lot. And once that happens, I think, unfortunately for those who are impatient, you're going to miss out on the move, because what's going to happen is that if things go to plan, we see these cars hit the road, we start getting delivery. Hey, we delivered, this many cars. And then the next month it's like up, and the next quarter it's up. And then we see these, delivery increases that we're seeing with NIO and XPV. We're going to start seeing that with some of these other, EV companies like FSR. And, once that happens, it's going to be not too late, but then the hype plays in. So you want to ideally be invested, or you want to be in it before that so you can capitalize on that gain. At least that's my point. And it's more of a speculative play too, because it's a farther out play. And so it's speculative in a sense, but don't put, more than you're willing to lose. Of course, that's that. So I'm going to go through a couple things here. So quickly, this is the Webull. This is Webull. So this is my daily Webull plug. There's a link down below to sign up, deposit $100 into this platform. I have a video on the channel going over how I created this custom layout. So if you want a layout, or you want to learn how to create a custom layout, however you want, whatever sides you want the chart, or you don't want the chart, whatever you want to do. All these things are like customizable. I have a video going over Webull custom layout. Look that up on even my channel or just YouTube in general. It should show up on the top. And then that hopefully can help you there. The 3 free stocks that they're offering, that ends on the 16th. So that's a couple days away. And so that's like their promotion that they're running right now. 3 free stocks, and you deposit and then deposit $100. And so once the money settles, you get your 3 free stocks. Awesome. So that may change. That may continue. I'll let you know once they let me know what's going on with that. So that's that. ATIF I talked about briefly. Let me go back to the bigger chart so we can get a nice little view. So it's holding up pretty well right here. Look, it's just bottomed out. I mean, I think it's a beautiful bottom play. It's bottomed out, popping up here over 85 cents, gets going. I think that's what's going to happen. So I want to see it pop over 85 cents, and then we can get going to close to $1 ideally. That's how I'm playing it. I have some in a longer term swing account, but it's not really a long. It's like my longer term investment account, but I have some in there just in case we get the move sooner than later because I'm waiting on this account to finally get like processed or whatever from margin to cash, and then this way I can go in here with this account and start loading up, or even just day trading in this one too. That's the plan. So that's that. Solo or now should I wait for a dip? So I mean the solo could get going again. It honestly can really rocket. It hit some crazy levels though. It's up 28% today. So I personally wouldn't want it to play it. I want to see a dip. I mean, we had opportunities. Unfortunately, we talked about it here a couple times back, like a couple weeks ago. We talked about it and we saw it happen like once, and we had a couple. We had opportunities. We miss it. It's like you just can't get caught up in missing that and play into the hype now. And maybe it keeps going and breaks over $6, and then it can really rip. But also, with the way the small cap market's been the past couple of weeks, I don't think that's going to happen right now. It might. I just don't think it's going to happen. So let it come down. That's how I would play it. I'm going to let it come down. I like it. I want to play it, but I'm not going to play it up here. Just not going to do it. Unless it breaks $6, then I'll day trade it. I'll play the day trade there, but I'm for a bigger breakout. But I'm not going to swing trade this one and go heavy anywhere it is. It's just too overextended. You want to get a better deal towards this level right here, which is like 250, was an amazing deal, on solo and how it held up and had support right there. So that's that. So yeah, I would like to see a dip for that. VLDR. Haven't looked at this one in a little bit. Let's take a look at VLDR. So, okay, so it's kind of broken out of this downtrend that we had drawn in here from a past session. And then look at this. I think it looks good. This is actually a solid entry, especially for a longer term play, which I do believe this is probably a stock you want to hold longer term, not just like for the next couple of weeks or for a quick swing or for a day trade. It's probably a longer term play. But it held up nicely at that 12, and it's making higher lows. So it looks like for right now, we can probably put in something. Let's see. We got to get the trend line in here. We got to go boom. We only have like 2 points to kind of go off of. So we kind of have that for right now. So we'll see if it holds that trend line, but it's consolidating and it's kind of putting in what looks to be a bottom towards that $12 level, which is good. I like it. So it's still at a pretty good buy, especially based on where it was. It's got some range to the upside for sure, based on the chart. I think it's a decent longer-term play too. Let's look at some Reggie, renewable energy. So we looked at this one before. Here's that trend, and it kind of cracked, and so then it's actually, so like we always say, now trading's an art, like I always say, not an exact science. So we see this trend like it's holding up as support, right? We crack below that. Okay, now that area that was prior support becomes resistance, and it happened perfectly here. Now it's resistance. So look, there it is, and it's pulling back. So I want to see where it comes back, and if it breaks back above this trend line, or if it gets back above some of these highs, that's ultimately it too. So it not necessarily was this trend line the resistance. It was also possibly due to these highs right here, and so we didn't break above some of these highs. So we got to break above $66, and that would look solid, I think. But again, a renewable energy, this is a play that also is probably going to be a long-term play. I had a video today going over a bunch of renewable energy plays, green energy plays. Just because I went over a few in there doesn't mean that those are the only ones. Like, those are the ones I've been looking at, but there's so many more. Like, you can find, plenty more. This one looks great. I nothing against it. I like it. I don't know too much about the company as of right now, but I like it. Let's see. Let's keep going down. METX, Chinese online education, low floater, not a lot of volume, bouncing off. Okay, let's take a look at that. This actually looks like could be a good play, because it's bouncing off this 240 area and it's starting to make a move up. So we got some, momentum to the upside. Looks like some, green buying candles coming in, which is good. And this thing looks like it has a lot of range. So it's a little more, I would say, higher risk, right? Because, it has range, and if you were to get in now at $3, you have to potentially be able to stomach, a move back down to this 240. But online education play, China stock, fits the China theme that we're looking for. Biden presidency, good for China. China stock's getting ready to run. Low float. hits that online education theme as we're seeing more lockdowns. Like this could be actually a really nice play. I like that. I am using Webull for those asking. So links down below to get your 3 free stocks while you have 4 days left, at least for now, until they potentially offer that again. Who knows? I haven't talked about TBLT actually yet. Let me look at that. It's funny. So we had a couple opportunities in TBLT. They had some weird news last Friday. Not weird news. They had like a weird timing on their news last Friday. And then Monday morning we popped. Oh, we just zoom in quick. Monday morning we popped up pre-market hours to 105. So we had a nice play, on TBLT for those who average down. I had talked about it in the past. We had this $1 million in Amazon sales for Q3, I believe, or Q2. I forget when it was. And so that was great. I thought it would run higher, and it just hasn't. But again, take a look at some of those sales numbers. Take a look at what they're doing. Take a look at the sector. I mean, they're in that home improvement, work from home. When I say work from home, like actual like physical work, like you're getting the tool belts, the equipment, like the knee pads, like tool bags, like that type of stuff. Like that's the stuff that they selling out on Amazon. They're in Lowe's, like they're doing good, and they have a bunch of new products coming. And I believe they filed for a new patent as well recently. They got a lot of stuff coming. So although we saw these pops to $1, I think we're going to get a bigger move at some point. So this is a potential spot to reload. And if we do fall through here at the 75 area, well, then I'm going to reload again back in the 60s. So, I mean, for me, it was a stock that could have been played multiple times. And I still anticipate playing it multiple times into the end of this year and potentially into next year. I think it's solid. So this is going to be a stock I'm going to be playing a lot. Just playing the range. Let it come back down, let it consolidate. Okay, spot, grab some, boom, sell into a spike. Either it's news or whatever. It just starts running up, and then you can just rinse and repeat. This is one of those stocks that you can really, play it a bunch of times. So that's why I like it. And I like, kind of the due diligence behind it, right? Like we know what they're all about. We know the sales are going up. We know the earnings, past 2 earnings have been awesome. So that's that. So let's see. Let's see. SNDL, yeah, quickly SNDL. I'll talk about that one really quick. Oh, I didn't type it in right. Oh, no, maybe I did. SNDL. So I want to see it come back on the daily chart. If we zoom in, see this blue line? It bounced off of that before. So 24 cents is that 50 SMA. I want to see it come back off of 50 SMA and bounce. This is a weed play for those interested. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a consolidation, or we're going to see a bounce either off the 50 SMA technically, or this will calm down, and until once we get confirmation 100%, there's no more lawsuits, this, that, and the other thing, Biden's in. Once that happens, if that happens, I'm not going to get political here, but if that happens, right, then I think these green energy plays, the weed plays, will get their second leg, and they'll really go again. So stay tuned on those. Keep them in your back pocket, because I think they're going to happen. It's going to come again. So, yeah. MLND. So this one's sitting right around these support levels, so it's still looking decent. I think, we just had earnings right here, so let's see. I think you got to look back, but it's still, a bottom play. I mean, this is a bottom play. So I mean, if there's some more catalysts that go into this one, which I believe there are, for if I can recall from last time we talked about this one. This is still looking fine. I think it's still looking fine. It's sitting at support. It's a bottom play, looking for a big time upside. With a catalyst, or just even a smaller move to the upside, you'll get you that 30% and you'll be happy, right? So BYND, I did briefly talk about. I'll talk about it again quick, because I know there's a lot of people who come in, because of course the way these live streams work, it's fine, for those who join the beginning, and then we get the surgence of viewers. So those who are in now, if you guys would not mind hitting the like button so we can get people in, so we get more ideas flowing, that's awesome. It's so much fun. We have a lot of people in here, and we got a lot of stuff going on in the chat, because lots of ideas is good. The more, it's sometimes I can't get to all of them, but that's fine. You guys can go back and forth in the chat. Hopefully, go back and forth with some good ideas. BYND, I think, is a solid long-term play. It felt like it came to this support level right here at that 120, and it's pushing back up, bouncing off of that. But I think there's actually a potentially bigger upside play here. TTCF, Tattooed Chef. Now, this is probably a multi-year play, because it's significantly behind BYND in terms of their time frame. And so in terms of the deals and stuff they have going on. But I think this is actually going to be a beautiful place. This is a similar sector. Tattooed Chef take a look if you haven't had the time. Write it down. Take a look at it when you have some free time, and look what they're doing. And they're actually it's pretty cool. And so this is a recent SPAC play. It was formerly FMCI, coming down to the support level at like $16. I think it's a beautiful buy. I think it's a beautiful buy for the long haul, not necessarily for a short-term trade, although it's pretty volatile, right? This is a beautiful play, I think, for the long haul. Buy and hold for a couple of years. So that's my thoughts. Plant-based products, things like that. Like that stuff's going to be big, going forward. So let's take a look. PRPH. This is starting to push up. This is looking decent here. So we can probably do. This is actually looking like it's starting to accelerate. We can put something. You can put a bunch of different lines in here and draw your your support level inside. Oh, let me fix this guy. Draw your line inside of a line inside of a line. It's like same with NIO with NEO. It's like that's what we have for now. So it's coming down to it. It's like at that uptrend line. So let's see what happens. If we can break back above these highs, it's a beautiful breakout play. So it's solid. It's a beautiful uptrend, I think, for right now. Thanks. Appreciate it. I like doing the lives because it's just fun. We can get more ideas going. It's instead of just having like videos where I come up with my ideas, because I'm looking at a couple things, but there's infinitely infinite amount of plays that you can kind of have, right? For sectors, for all different things, so this is great because we can get more ideas, and it's better, right? We can all get a bunch of ideas rather than just watching a video and say, hey, okay, that's cool, you've got these ideas, but there's always more, and you may not like my ideas, you may like somebody else's idea even better, right? So that's the whole point. PLTR growth contracts sounded good. This one, let me look at this one again, because didn't it go down? Okay, so it's down today. PLTR, but it's honestly putting in higher lows. So if we can hold up here at that 14-ish, 13, 14, this is solid. I think it's going to be a solid longer-term play. We had some of this kind of pop to the upside, but I think it's like I didn't look at the earnings to be honest personally, but I saw some tweets about it, and so I think it's still fine. I think it's going to be fine. Let it good dip buy if you're looking to grab it. Good dip buy down 8% today. I think you're good. VBIV. Vaccines, VBIV vaccines. This one it's been getting some more attention, I think, the past couple of days, right, with that vaccine news we have recently. So here's a downtrend that we're breaking out of this downtrend, at least for right now. So it's starting to kind of perk up out of the downtrend. Now the next test is going to be that 50 SMA at 285 or so. Break above that and $3, and then over that we'll see how things go. But this one looks decent, like it's starting to kind of make those first signs of that reversal. Looks like we have support this 270 or this 225-ish. Yeah, we dipped down to like 207, but 225 should be kind of our new support area. Not a perfect exact number, it's just an area, right? Let's see. 13. Can I get into stocks? Yeah, and what I would recommend if you're that young, and same thing. I have brothers who are younger too. So what I personally would recommend is you look into either stocks or you look into some ETFs. So some of the ETFs that I like, actually, let me pull them up. I'm going to pull them up right here. I like the ARK ETFs. Like if you guys do a little more research, and this is not the time to kind of talk about this because we want to talk about some other plays. These ETFs, you can look into what their holdings are. You can look into their performance, but they've been absolutely incredible. And these are your kind of more growth stock, more kind of ETFs. So these, I believe, almost all of these are up 100% in the past year. So they manage it for you. You don't have to really worry, but you're in a solid pool of awesome growth-related, and you can invest in whatever one you want, or all of them, right? I recommend something like that personally if you want to see more upside potential. Of course, you can see more downside if the market goes down, right? But if you want more upside potential, without having to kind of do too much of your own, like, oh, this is I want this stock and research yourself, trusting something like that is potentially, not a bad idea if you're just starting out, especially when you're young. Putting some money to work early on is awesome, because the name of the game for building like legit wealth long term is the younger you get started, the better, right? The younger, the better. So if you can be, starting up early, like at a young age, like 13, that's awesome. So, look into, if you don't, I have some videos on my channel, but a lot of the stuff I have been recently talking about, most of it I do have some more longer term growth stocks too, but most of it's like a lot of it's like swing trades and penny stocks. If you see a penny stock video from me, just understand 9 times out of 10, even like 9.9 times out of 10, that stock is not something you want to buy and hold. You want to be in and out of that stock. There's a reason why I am talking about it, because it offers a lot more upside than downside at the time usually, and so you can make a higher percentage gain in a shorter period of time. Like you can't make in the S&P, just broadening out over the past X number of years, let's just say 20 years, right? I don't know what the actual average percent return is, but if you were just to invest in the S&P 500, you'll earn, it's 7 to 10% per year. Or let's say it's 10% per year. You can do 10%, more than 10% in a day, on your account with some penny stocks if you start to understand how they work, how to trade them, and know how like that kind of goes. So that's why I talk about that stuff, and that's why I trade that stuff personally. That's just me. That's don't just go off of that. Everyone's going to have their own kind of what works best for them. So Multiplan is getting shorted now. I believe Muddy Waters Research, kind of like one of those firms or whatever, they put out like a short report where they're shorting Multiplan. They don't like it. I don't know. I liked it a while back, but the price action has not been good. What is Multiplan again? It's like MLPN. Let's see. Pull it up. No, it's not. Where is Multiplan? Multiplan. MPLN, sorry. So yeah, now it's back to 6 because we had the shorts. Muddy Water Research put out a short report, or they initiated a short position on them. So I would stick away from it for now, although that could be an opportunity to start buying if you like it long term. I stopped after I was in it for back here, and then I got out before the merger, and then I said, I'm done. I was playing it kind of just like pretty much a SPAC kind of hype play into the merger date. So that was that. ADMP, still on this one. We have the PDUFA. We have news coming. 15th is the PDUFA for those who are scared. For those who are not so sure, this is not a stock you want to be going all in on, because, of course, we can have bad news. And you get bad news, it's kind of you flip a coin here. Yeah, okay, we're in a stock that we believe has a higher potential chance for good news here. But then again, there's always that risk. So I am not in huge. I thought we would see a bigger run-up. We honestly did, but it happened like a while back, and it happened like I'll show you the 4-hour chart. Here it was. Someone tweeted about it. One of those guys on Twitter that I hate it because it ruins plays, and it popped up. So I had a beautiful average. I was up like 35-40%, but I didn't sell it because it was like 4 a.m. pre-market hours, and I didn't anticipate it to go up that fast that soon. And so I was sitting there like, okay, then it fell back and then just downturned ever since. And so it's been a pain. And also lately we see some of these random spikes throughout the day. That's these guys on Twitter who've been calling it out. And to be honest, those are great, but they're also they're horrible, because you start throwing more people into a stock that, to be honest, like don't know what they're doing. You get irrational traders, you get panic sellers, you get people who are going to ruin momentum. And so I think that it's kind of getting a little overplayed here. I still think it's fine. I'm going to hold some through the news, but that's just me. That's my risk management. Of course, this thing could go down, so it could go down, decently if there's bad news. So understand the risks of playing through a PDUFA and holding through a PDUFA date and holding through when you're supposed to get news. So just understand that. CEO of Multiplan debunked. Okay, that's good. So this could be a time to buy. I don't know enough about Multiplan to say, hey, like I looked at it a while back and I haven't looked at it really since. So if that's good, that's awesome. And just because these short reports come out doesn't mean you need to be scared and just immediately sell if you're in it. It's potentially going to bring down the price, short term, but ideally, if the company is going to hold through and be successful, it doesn't matter. You buy through that, and those are some gift dips, so I think it's fine. LCA merger, we still don't have a date on that, which is kind of a pain. Unless it came out to like today or something, I haven't seen. CHNR is looking primed. I mean, look at this. This is a stock I like a lot. If we just zoom out, for those who don't like, well, today was up a little bit, so it popped up a little bit here today to 130. So now it's come back down, but it's looking for a bigger move. So we just look at a chart like this. It's bottomed out here. We had this big move up, this big range. The chart shows range to the upside. That's what I like to see. And so getting in down here towards support under 120 is probably a good spot, I think. With $1 being your level of support, I wouldn't want to hold it too much below $1. Natural level of support, So that's personally my play on CHNR, right? CHNR. Yeah, I think I agree with the theory on LCA saying that they were waiting for more states to sign up or open up to have online gambling in place. Acre had a huge pump. I saw that. I didn't really pay much attention to Acre today, personally. NLS. Let's take a look at NLS. This bad boy is... Okay, so we must have looked at it before because we have this trend line in here. So it's up. I mean, it's coming back up off of this dip right here. So here it is. But it looks like, I mean, I would love it down towards the trend line if it could come down there. But if it can't, it doesn't seem like a terrible dip buy based on the highs if you know more about it. I don't know much about it, so I personally I'm not in. But if you do know about it, like here you go, solid play, dip buy opportunity for you at least here. You have a nice little gap here over this 23.50 up here towards 26 or so. So that's solid. PRPO pretty much at the bottom. Let's take a look at PRPO. Oh yeah, yep. I like these plays. Like these are some solid, like where you see prior history of a spike, right? You see the prior range, you see some little spikes here and there, but you're kind of sitting at the bottom. You're getting held back. That 50 SMA is holding you back. Okay, you come back down. Maybe you get a dip down towards $2. So $2 or so is probably a good entry on PRPO. And then boom, we get news, or we get something that catalyst to spike it, and they can go. So this is one that I like. I like this turn a lot, actually. This is looking solid. Yes, if you're just getting in, hit that like button. I appreciate it. It really helps out because it's not just it's really just like it's for everyone else in here. Like you'll get more ideas flowing in the chat, the more people who jump in. So it's awesome. PFE. So it's funny. So Pfizer, right? We had the whole pop, and then it ended up coming back down, and it didn't hold up on these levels of prior resistance that I was thinking it might hold up on. But we had the CEO sell like 62 million shares or whatever it was, or 62% of his shares. I think that's what it was. So I mean, I'm not surprised if it comes back down. Personally, I mean, I'm looking maybe it holds something like this. It holds somewhere in here. I don't know. Maybe this is kind of a stretch to put these lines in. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe something like this holds up a little bit better. So I would look for this thing to come down, honestly, and see if it comes down under like 37. Could be a better 36-ish area. Could be a better spot under 36.50. I don't know though if it's worth playing. I think what we're gonna see, we're about to see I don't know how the market's gonna react, and we can look at SPY really quick too. I'll share my thoughts at least on what I think may be happening with SPY, but it's gonna be weird because we're going into this period. We're seeing more shutdowns. I think everyone is starting to realize now. After the election, it's like, okay, now what? And it's like, wait a sec, like we still have this virus. Like, yeah, there's vaccine news, but like, doesn't mean the virus is gone right now. So it's like, oh, now what? So we have SPY. So here's my thoughts on SPY. So we bounced off these levels of support pretty nicely. Great. Vaccine news, awesome. Came back down the rest of the day. Fine. Next day, yeah, whatever. Next day, okay. Today, down a little bit, down 1%. Not too bad, not too bad. But previous area of resistance was this downtrend line right here. We broke above that. Now we're holding up right around it. So the interesting thing is that we're holding up right around that level of support. If we can hold up here and then bounce, go back up to the upside, that would be, that's something I would be potentially anticipating. No guarantees it happens. There's always news. There's always somebody to throw a wrench into things. So I'm not going to be counting on that. But that's my take, is that we may be seeing a bounce back to the upside for the overall market coming now based off of just looking at this. Now, SPY technicals are cool. They're really cool and all, but at the end of the day, does it really matter? Because someone, at any point there could be vaccine news. They can come out and say, hey, this is a fake. Like, this vaccine is actually not as good as we thought. Like, I don't know. So something like that could happen and can just ruin everything. So you don't want to be, all in on one way or the other. In and out until uncertainty is certain. There you go. That's kind of how I've been feeling, especially with small caps in general too. It's like up and down. There's not really much consistency, I feel like, which is fine. You just don't want to lose all your money here, which is something that people are doing right now. But you don't want to be losing all your money. BLU solely. So okay, this is actually solid. Let me look at these two because these are ones that I've been watching for a little bit. BLU. Let's pull it up. I believe they confirmed some other catalysts here today in their earnings as well for BLU, which is, so this is a dead bottom chart. Eventually, at some point, this is going to go. I like it a lot. $2, as close to $2 as possible would be ideal. But again, still got lots of range to the upside. Solely, let's take a look at this chart for this guy, and it's popping back, or it's coming back down. So this is actually potentially give me an opportunity to get in. So I've been waiting to get back in if it comes down further, but here it is. So we're kind of, there's our chart. But again, after hours, we're up 6%. So we're bouncing off this line. So we're up like right around here if we were to open there tomorrow. So there's that. So we'll see what happens with Soli. I'm still waiting on news there as well. Let's see. APHA. I'll take a look at APHA. Yeah, I think we talked about this one recently too. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. I would like to see it come back down closer to like this $4, like under $4.50 or so. I would like to see that. I don't know. I don't know much about it. So if you knew more about it and you say, hey, there's catalyst, this is why it's going to go up now or near future. Boom. If not, if you're playing more technically, trying to get a better deal based on the price, well then under $4.50 probably is or around $4.50 or lower is probably a better deal for this stock. PIC had good earnings, I believe, today. They had some good news in this. They had some good earnings. But this one is one that I think we're going to have to wait till post-merger. So we're going to have to wait for the merger. But it's bottomed out. So for those who are willing to wait, I think you're going to be just fine here with PIC. I have some, and I've started a position in my longer-term portfolio. So I like it. I've talked about it before. I like it, but it looks as if right now we're just kind of playing that waiting game. So we'll see what happens. We're just kind of waiting here for that merger. And once we get that, I think that's when we'll start to see a move. Something similar to like FSR, I think is certainly possible. But again, they have like numbers. Like they have like real like data to kind of go off of. Whereas like FSR, we're kind of waiting until 2022 for production. So that's that. Sony, I don't know too much about Sony. I was saying, we were looking at it earlier. I think $85 is like a decent support. I don't know too much about the launch and if that really will have a big impact on it. I think it would have to like insanely overperform to see a significant move in the stock price for Sony. That's just my take. Workhorse run on potential contract news tomorrow with USPS meeting. That could be interesting. Let's look at Workhorse because I haven't looked at this one super close, but it was up 6% today. So here, I got so many lines on this one because we talked about it a while back, but we're putting in higher lows. I mean, uptrending beautifully. So we're coming up to this low 20s is our resistance area. So those who are in, you're looking pretty good. But you know that the USPS contract for Workhorse is like the biggest factor that we're waiting on. I'm not in it long term. I would love to be, but I'm waiting on that. We get like news of a piece of that contract or the whole thing or a large piece, whatever. That will be my catalyst to get in. Now, yeah, okay, will I miss out on the gains that will probably happen when they announce that? Yeah, but I still see a longer term run on Workhorse. Until then, personally, not that I'm not sold, but I just don't want to mess with it right now. I think there's other plays for me or have better potential risk rewards for that because I'm waiting on that. Personally, that's my take on it. Sorry, I'm catching back up through some of these tips for tomorrow. I don't know. We're just seeing a lot of chop, so I don't really know. We'll see what happens. It looks like the EV sector is still staying hot, so EVs, I guess, will be my top watch. Will be like these stocks I have on the left-hand side, and there's other ones too. Those are like the top ones that I've been watching lately. Let's see. W-Day. Let's take a look at W-Day. Workday. Zooming on out here. I do kind of like this chart. If we can put in some levels, we can put that little trend line in there just like that. So it's decently, it's consolidating. We have this kind of downtrend right here. We can probably put something, yeah, look at that. It looks good. So we're in this range. So either we're going to see, ideally you'd like to see it hold up around the support and then break out of this downtrend to the upside, which would be awesome for new highs. That's what I want to see. So, it looks as if for me right now, we got to break above this 230 on workday, then that's awesome. Break and hold above that for a day or two. Boom. Or if we come down and we start falling below like 210, 205, and then eventually $2, $200, sorry. That would not be ideal. So those are like the levels I would be watching on that. So workday. It looks decent. It looks like it's it's putting in potential bull flag or something like that. So I look a PLTR. I think it pulled back. It's a decent opportunity to dip buy. I think for the long term. So that's my recommendation on it. It would just be like this is an opportunity for a dip buy for a longer term hold. I think it'll be solid long term. Just my take based off of the little things that I know about it. But for those who know more, based on your own due diligence, that's up to you to decide. NIO, absolute monster. This has just been a monster. I think it's just insane. Here was your dip if you wanted to get it. Now you're back up off that dip, 12% today. Just insane. So what I've been noticing lately, and this is another thing too, when you don't, if you're trying to force a trade or trying to force something, there's no need to do that, especially when things have been choppy and we got this news that something could break at any second, stimulus up in the air, this, that, and the other thing. We got lots of stuff riding the market in either direction, right? So you find what's strong. NIO has been strong, and what I've been noticing was 38 or so has been an amazing dip. So we got that a couple times, 38.04 here, and 38.65, and then 38.65. So a couple dips to under 39 has been an amazing dip. The past couple, it recovered a couple days ago. What is this? This is Monday. This is Monday. This is Tuesday. So Tuesday, we dipped down here. I was watching it, didn't take it. Dipped to 38.22. Immediately recovered. Off of that, we within in the hour we recovered big time, back over $40. Boom. I mean, that was amazing dip buy, even option play. That was awesome. There was no reason for this to be down so much. I think the overall market was down. I think tech was down, NASDAQ was down. So that's why. And then it recovered beautifully. Then it did not the same thing, but then it dipped down to that similar area again on Wednesday, and then recovered beautifully into the close. So that was an opportunity that I saw 2 days in a row on some decent dips for a stock that has been very strong. Just for some dip buys for a couple percent profit. If you were to buy shares, there's your few percent. Or if you're to buy calls, don't go in huge, but I watched calls go 100% in an hour. Certain contracts. So there was opportunity. There's always opportunity, and it's you don't have to be in a million different things. If you're just focusing in on one or two plays or one play in particular that you've been watching, and now $38 is where it's where it's been holding up. It's been it's going to bounce. Then you can be buying it, and if it drops below 38, buy it as close to that level as possible. It drops below, okay, you cut a quick loss. If not, you ride it back up to 40 plus. You take a nice 100% profit on calls, or you take your couple percent profit on just shares, and you call it a day. You don't have to worry too much and be super concerned. Ideally, this is a longer term play. So for me, I'm buying. If you're buying it for a long term portfolio, you just buy it, right? And the anticipation is okay. Even if it pulls back, even if it calms down the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, who knows when it's going to calm down, when it's going to pull back. Even if it does, the anticipation is that in a year, 2 years, 3 years, the EV market in China is going to be massive. This company will be larger. There'll be more sales, more revenue. Ideally, this will be a higher price stock, right? We'll see a larger market cap. Ideally, that's what we're going to see. So for a longer term play, I don't think it's bad by any means. So it depends on your horizon, depends on how you're kind of playing it. If you want to play it for the short term, you have opportunities. You want to play it for the long term, I think your opportunities will still present themselves over the next couple months, potentially even longer. So QLGN waiting for FDA approval. This is one that I was actually been watching now. So this is kind of a shame. It's down decently after hours, hit 296. So okay, that's this unfortunately what happened was it fell below this support that I had at least drawn in at this 360-ish area, and then it came back up, tested that prior level of support. If I zoom out, we can see it as to why it's support, because we actually bounced off that level in the past a couple times. So zooming on out, we can find, where is it? So here it is. So pretty much we had a couple times. So we came to this level, boom, 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 and then he fell through, tested that area as now resistance, and then fell back to the downside. So ideally that's not great, but we're still waiting on an approval there. So we'll see what happens with QLGN for those who are looking at it, for those who are in. Again, when you're waiting for news like that, people get impatient, people kind of get, sick of it, and they kind of move on. So that's what can potentially happen. You have to understand the risk and be willing to kind of hold through if you believe in the due diligence behind it. LI's up. ACB, I think, will have more time as we move into the end of the year and next year, I think, for sure. AIHS, this is another China play. So those who like China pennies, well, here you go. It looks like $1 or so will be my level that I would like to see it hold. This is actually looking nice. AIHS is one that I actually, a long time back, if I recall, a long time ago, like when I say long, like a year ago, this is one of those stocks that like I was in and I was like waiting for it, and then eventually like we got like one of these spikes and it was just insane. It's like I was in back here. Yeah, it's end of summer last year, and then boom, it just went. So this was insane. That was a stock that, oh, this is this year. I want to zoom out. Look at the daily chart. But I think it's solid. I think at $1 or so, it's a solid level. Yes, this is one of those insane. I mean, this stock. I played it right here. It was like one of these pops. I made a good amount of money, at least for percentage wise, on what I was playing with, and it was insane. But it looks like $1 I would like to see hold here. It could dip down to like 95 cents, but $1 I'd like to see hold on AIHS. This is a China stock, so if you're into China penny stocks, I made a video going over why this is or the next hot sector penny stocks, and it's these types of stocks. So this is sitting at support. It looks good. If it comes down below $1, okay, then let's see if it comes down further. But for right now, it's holding up pretty well, and I like it. So we'll see what happens. GM is a long-term EV play. That's not a bad. Well, let's see. Let's see what GM's chart looks like. It's been pushing up lately. It's been nice. So I mean, it could be. I think it could definitely. A lot of these companies are going to have to adapt, and I think that they're seeing the EV sector just exploding. So I'm not surprised. I really am not. So DKNG only operating. Yeah. So DKNG. Let's take a look. This is one that I was, okay, so it broke out of this downtrend, popped up, found this level of prior support, this trend line, to be kind of like resistance or an area that's kind of having a tougher time kind of holding up, pushing through. The market's been up and down choppy lately, so not surprised. I would like to see what happens here. Does it come back down towards this 35? If it doesn't, let's see if it breaks above and get up back towards, looks like we got to try to see if it can get above 45. Above 45, we have these highs right here. That looks decent for DKNG. I think this is going to be a good play long term too. I think for those who are interested, I do kind of like it. Honestly, long term. Used to bet on DraftKings a lot. So yeah, Chinese penny stocks are dangerous. Well, like I said, like when it comes to penny stocks in general, yeah, they're dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, they're super dangerous. But if you do know what you're doing, they can offer massive percentage returns in extremely short periods of time. So if you're playing them with high, reward, low risk potential, you're playing them for catalysts, things like that, then, it's fine. They can certainly, people can do extremely well off of them. Other people, that's just not their styles. Everyone's going to have a style of what works for them. So that's that. Let's see. Plug. I like Plug. I want to see Plug right now. Ooh, there it is. I mean, look at that. So what did I say? I said it recently. I said, okay, Plug above 20 is a beautiful play. So the day that it broke above 20, was this Monday? Yeah, Monday. Went to 21.89 immediately, like right after that. Boom. So like that was a beautiful play for a breakout. Unfortunately, I didn't take it because my account's been transitioning from margin to cash, so I have to wait like one more day or 2 more days or whatever. So should be good by next week, but I didn't play that. But the anticipation, is that I don't really, I'm not going to get caught up in the FOMO and stuff. There's opportunities every single day. So, uptrend for right now, something like that kind of ish. You can take that with a grain of salt, obviously. But Plug's looking beautiful. I like it as a longer term play as well, for sure. Solid, I think. VISL. Let's take a look at VISL. I think it's okay. I would want to see it hold around that 110. I wouldn't want to see it drop below there. This could be good. It's bottoming out, so it's I don't know if there's really any catalyst that they have coming. Personally, I don't know. It was a sympathy to like DGLY, a riot play. Did we really see riots? People still think we might see riots if Trump doesn't want to leave, and we're going to have, I don't know. It could happen. It's one to keep on your watch list in the back. It's a drone play. It is a sympathy to DGLY at times, so it's one to have for sure. Appreciate it, guy. Appreciate it, Jay. Appreciate it. ABBV, and it's like the thing with these ABBV, with these lives too, is like I want to do them more often, but also like the whole point of these lives, and for those who are in, smash the like button, because the more people we have on the live, the better it is for just all of us, because I have a couple things that I focus on, but then like you guys come in and you drop some other ideas like, oh, this actually looks really good. Like a bunch of ideas I've seen that look awesome. So, we can kind of curate a pretty big watch list of stuff that looks good, that we like, that looks good risk reward wise. And so it's awesome. So this is looking pretty good. But the thing is, though, we're getting up there. So we have to see if we can break above 100, hold above 100 for a day or two, because we had issues in the past. We see these wicks. We really only had like wicks above 100. So I would want to see an open and a close or two above 100 for that, showing us, hey, our 100 is now our new support. Let's move up. But that said, we're getting up there. So we're coming potentially back on down. So it's showing this is, again, an area of resistance. So we want to be careful here. I wouldn't want to be buying it right now. Would not. I would want to be buying it if it breaks out over 100. That's a potential breakout play. Or if it starts holding up over 100, that's your new support potentially, barring any bad news and the overall market staying relatively steady. Then that's that. So that's why that's my thoughts on AbbVie, at least for right now. UVXY, interesting though, because we've been seeing a little bit of volatility coming back into the market lately. So what do we see today? Well, look at this. So UVXY pushing up. And it's honestly great. So here's an idea for those who maybe just need little kind of hopefully like little things like this. Hopefully maybe you can take this however you want. But when you have high volatility events, and generally when you'll have high volatility events, the market comes down, right? So when you have high volatility events, okay, so like UVXY spikes, and we've seen it spike a couple times. But it almost always comes down harder, just as hard, or longer term, right? It comes down further. So if you want to short it, there's always money to be made on the backside of volatility events. Whether you saw the volatility coming or not, there's always money to be made. So if it comes back up and pushes back up to 20, right, and then things kind of settle down, whatever happens, right? This could be a play to potentially shorten the backside. But as of right now, it's perking up, which potentially could be a sign. Okay, today the market was down, which could be a sign of something maybe coming. So I don't know. So that's the thing. UVXY is not a long-term play. It's a couple of days if you're going to hold it, or really it's an intraday day trade on options or something like that. That's really it. Yeah. I wouldn't be buying UVXY unless you're just day trading the volatility intraday, or you're, the market's down hard, there's horrible news or something's happening, maybe, but it's not something you want to be holding for multiple days by any means. Absolutely not. Appreciate those who have hit the likes. We're up to 64. I know we can get higher. If everyone here hit the like button, we'd be at 100, but it is what it is. I know people aren't going to do it. It's fine. So I'll look at SPY again quickly just to see what the overall market's looking like. So my anticipation, or my idea is that maybe we bounce here off of this prior area of resistance, comes new support, we bounce off of that and make a move up potentially to all-time highs into the coming weeks. That's my thoughts. Potentially will happen. I don't know. But, we'll see. LAC. Let's see LAC. So we broke out of this downtrend, right? And now we're holding up support around like $9 or $10. So we'll see if we can hold up that level. I wouldn't want to see it dropping below this 930. So I wouldn't want to see that. NIO will bulldoze through 50. That would be nuts. I think it will. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow if the market's relatively stable or relatively up, which honestly doesn't even matter, I think we'll see this may just continue to run through into the earnings. Earnings are the 17th for NIO, I believe. So there's that. And for those who are looking like, oh, should I get in before earnings, after earnings? I don't know. It's up to you. Do you want to play it for a short-term trade, or do you want to play it for the long haul? It depends. If you're playing it for the long haul, it doesn't matter when you buy it. It's going to be, if you believe it's going to be worth more next year or the year after that, then buy it now. Buy it tomorrow. Buy it yesterday, right? So it depends. FSLY, I haven't looked at that one in a little bit. FSLY, I didn't do it right. I typed in it wrong. FSLY. Fastly. Now it's back over that 75. So we had 75 as support, then we fell. Now we're back over 75, and we're pushing up. So it's looking decent. It's been weird. I don't know. I would like to see it now hold at 75. So let's see what happens. But it did pretty much kind of what we expected in a sense. Held up around 75, came down through, fell below, right? Went to 62. Then it came up, tested 75, found it to be resistance, fell back. Came back up, resistance again, right here. fell back a little bit, and then boom, broke through finally. So we're back above it, which is good for the bulls, right? So that's that. ETSY. Etsy. This is a nice play for those who order on Etsy. I mean, I honestly I haven't ordered too many things on Etsy, but the things I have ordered, they've been pretty good. So I like it. I don't know. It's interesting right now what it's doing. If you can probably zoom in on like the 1 hour and see it better levels. So it depends on your thoughts. I don't know. I don't know long term. I don't know. But short term, we kind of have somewhat of a like a little support-ish range, something like that. That's our kind of floor for right now. Kind of have like, I mean, if you disregard this kind of wick up, you could put something in kind of like this, something like that. So there's your kind of rough range for right now for Etsy. So it's kind of towards the top of that range until it breaks out of that range. You know, it's potentially going to just hold up in this range for the next short term or for the next, little while. So that's at least, what I would be looking at. Let's see. XPEV. We'll look at that one again really quick because this has been a beast with NIO. So it ripped through, broke out of this kind of downtrend consolidation channel, broke out. It honestly did the same thing that we like to see with these plays. You break out of it, you come back down, you support, and then boom, you rip through to the upside. Boom, there it was. We had earnings today as well, so there's that. So that was a catalyst, and then we ripped through this prior high of like 39.75, and then boom, over 40, and it looks like over $40 now is the level. I hit 48 today. That's nuts. I keep holding off NIO because I think it's high. Yeah, and that's the thing. So NIO is one for me, right, where I've missed out on buying in more when I could have definitely made more money now. Do I think it will consolidate and pull back at some point? Yeah, but maybe it doesn't do that until it's $100. I don't know. People want that Tesla move, and so they're going to try to get it. And I think it's for good reason, too. I think the stock is going to be worth a lot more in the years to come. So that's that. Let's look at Workhorse really quick. Workhorse is back over 20, which is good. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Exactly, you want the stocks before they start trending. That's the whole point. That's the whole name of the game. That's what I've, at least when it comes to a lot of penny stocks. That's like been my biggest success when trading penny stocks, is literally just getting into a sector before the money starts flowing into that sector, or early stages of money flowing into a sector. That's been the best. NIO, you start buying it now. Okay, cool. Maybe you make money, but like, okay, the guys who bought in at $10, like $2, $3, like those people, they made money and they're still making money, right? So assuming that they're still in. So you want to be that person, right? Ideally. So that's why I like FSR so much, to be honest. So I'm waiting for Workhorse to come back up and test like the low 22, 23. Get above 23, then my interest is back in Workhorse. But as of now, I want to see it get above $22 and $23 as a prior level of resistance. At least what I'm thinking. FCEL. I've liked it. I think it's decent. Let's take a look if we can put something in here. Let's see if we can put in a trend. Something like that. We got something going on for FCEL. We can zoom out on the 4 hour. Starting a little slight lag here. Got too much stuff maybe going on in the background. Okay, so we got this downtrend. We broke out of this downtrend, and now we're pushing back on up. So we're at this kind of trend line. We're uptrending, putting in higher lows. I don't know. I haven't looked enough into FCEL, but I guess it could be. Oh, that's actually nuts. It's Danbury, Connecticut is where they're located. That's insane. I live like right next to. I at least live in the town over. That's insane. That's funny. And actually, people one time I got a comment saying like, you dropped your address in the video. Like, no, this down here is like the company profile, so like where the company's located and stuff. It's not like my address. Not my account profile. It's just a company profile. So that's that. I mean, it's at this level. Let's see what happens. I personally I've played FCEL like around $2 to $2.50. Now it's at $2.50. So I don't know. It may keep going. I'm just not a huge, I'm not in it. So just that's my thoughts. It could be great, but I don't know. At least for now. Maybe I'll look into this weekend and play it next week, but I'll let you know if I do. SPI is ready to go. Let's see, SPI. I'm probably going to wrap things up in like 10 minutes, guys, just so you know. 8:30, at least my time, it's like 9:30 Eastern. So, okay, so SPI is like, it seems like it's like just ready to go. It has that look of like, okay, it's time for another spike. I've been hearing a little bit about SPI here and there, some whispers, either some people that I've been watching or whatever. And so now it's potentially coming into a time that, let's see if we can put a trend line in here. Ooh, we're getting close. This is what I would watch. So here's your 4-hour trend line. So we hit it 3 times. So boom, boom, boom. That's a good sign. Now, it's a good sign if we break above. So we got to break above this. So as of right now, if it happens like potentially tomorrow, right, it looks like $8. We get above $8. That could be a technical breakout of this kind of downtrend that we have in there. SPI was my most successful play. Awesome. And it may offer another opportunity for sure. Let's look at Zoom. So this has been getting crushed. This could be a good dip buy, especially now as we go back. Okay, so what's going to happen here, potentially what's happening here is that we saw Zoom run up, initial pandemic, all that, right? Now what happens, okay, we have a vaccine. Zoom starts dropping. But then it's like, oh, wait, no, we have a vaccine, but we're still going into the winter now, and we have more school, we have more this, we have more closures, we have people staying home, homeowners, we got to use Zoom again. So it's like that perfect example. That dip was awesome a couple days ago. So I think it could get back up to $500. Personally, am I in it? No. If I'm going to do it, I wouldn't be personally playing calls, although that's where you're going to make more money. But you have a decent recovery opportunity here into the winter months, I think, for sure. So I kind of like that. Uber and buying the fear is the best to do, because many times that's where you'll make the most money, when you buy the fear. So Uber broke out of this little spot. So now Uber's pushing up. I don't know. $50 is the next level. We got to break above $50. That's what I want to see. If not, it comes back down towards 40-ish for Uber. That's at least what I'm thinking. Let's see. SBE, yeah, we look at this one briefly, but I'll pull it up again before we, a couple more minutes, and we'll wrap things up soon. SBE, where is she? There is Switchback Energy Acquisition Corp. So we just hit those new highs. I mean, with a lot of these energy plays, what I'm thinking is going to happen is we're probably going to see a shorter-term drawdown before they run again. So I'm thinking we're going to see a short-term drawdown until Biden takes office, probably potentially into December, January. Maybe it happens sooner rather than later, I don't know. But they won't, I think they'll get another push, the green energy plays, the weed plays. They'll get another push, I think, come once he's in office, confirmed, right? If that, once that all is sorted out, right? Then it's okay, now that there's a higher chance of things getting put into place for these stocks to flourish, and to do better, right? So that's the idea, right? More action to be done potentially. So I like that. BNS, let's take a look at that. Bank Nova. No, this is BNG. Let's see. BNS. Pushed up lately for sure. We're lagging slightly. We got too much going on in the background here. Yeah, this is nice though. This is a decent recovery play as well. So solid dividend, you've said, and that's another thing too. Everyone's different in terms of what they want to play. So if you like short-term stuff, penny stocks, I play that stuff as, trying to make money now. But I have positions in long-term dividend plays, long-term growth ETFs, just long-term speculative growth stocks, and just solid buy and hold dividend plays that are just solid couple percent dividend per year. That's what I would highly recommend. The earlier you can do that, the better. If you can be, I had someone who was on here was 13 saying before, what should I do? You just start investing in some growth stuff, some dividend stuff, just some solid, don't get super risky. But again, when you're young, you can be riskier because at the end of the day, that's how I saw it. For me, it's if I lose all the money I have now, I don't care. It would suck. I care, but at the end of the day, I'm still young. I don't, if I lost, I would be a lot more kind of concerned, or I would be a lot less kind of willing to take on more risk, I guess. If I was 60 years old, because I don't want to lose all my money at that point, right? But when you're young, you have the ability to kind of just not be reckless, but to a degree, right? In line, at least, you know. Let's see. Good trade tomorrow. Appreciate it. Million plus one day. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll see. Appreciate it, Larry. Appreciate it. Let's take a look. SNDL. I don't know about growth. I think SNDL is going to be a play come like, again, like I was talking about with Biden taking over. It'll probably get hot again. It'll have another bounce, and it can easily go 100%. So that's the thing. You know, I would be cautious about that. Maybe 20%, 30%. But, you know, I'm thinking a bounce off of like 24 cents. KOD. Let's take a look at KOD. And we're going to wrap things up in a couple minutes here. Kodak sign. This is ripping. This is nuts. This thing is on a tear. Awesome. This thing looks like a beast. So, I mean, I don't know much about it, but this thing is just tearing it up. Maybe it keeps going. I mean, I wouldn't if I'm in, I'm in. But if I'm not in yet, I wouldn't be buying it up here personally unless I'm day trading it. That's just me. Peloton. Let's take a look at Peloton. Peloton, another one of those plays where another stocks where it was like, you know, kind of a pandemic stock, like, oh, you know, everyone's working out at home, right? Then we had the vaccine, and it just pulls back or whatever, and then now it's recovering off of those drops. So, you know, I think it's going to be fine. I think that was a good dip buy potentially. You know, I think $100, hold up over $100, and you should be okay. It did dip below, but I think $100 should be your new level of support ideally for Peloton. TDOC. I don't know much about TDOC personally, so I don't know. But it looks like it's been on a beautiful uptrend the past couple of months, like beautiful uptrend. So it's getting up there. It's dipping now. We have a decent dip opportunity if you want to be getting in. So maybe it's a decent buy. Look at CLX quickly here. Clorox. It may be time here again for some Clorox action. So let's take a little look. Let's put a little downtrend here. So what I want to see is Clorox breaking out of this downtrend. So what does it need to do? It needs to get up towards, looks like 215. It gets over 215, and we can get going to the upside, resume to the upside over 225. Awesome. Then potentially making a shot at all-time highs. So FCEL, not a huge fan right now. Would like it closer to $2. ADMP is one that I am still in. We're waiting on the PDUFA. Personally, it depends on your risk management. If you want to hold through, if you don't, there's risk there holding through a catalyst like that. So, you know, it could go both either way, right? You know, you can make money, things could be great, or we can go, bad news, and you can lose. So I'm not going to be holding too much. I thought we'd see a bigger run up. We didn't. It is what it is. We saw a run up earlier, a couple weeks back actually. So hopefully that helps. Want to get into stocks? Not a single video says where do I buy. There definitely is tutorials. There is definitely tutorials on YouTube on how to, like, the simple process of how to buy a stock. I don't know if I have personally a video, which it's honestly one of those things where it's like you would think, right? That's like one of the most basic things for someone who's a brand new beginner who, you know, wants to get into trading or buying stocks in general. You know, it's overlooked as like, how do you buy stocks? Like, I guess, but there should definitely be tutorials. There should be videos. I'm sure you can find something, Google search, YouTube search, and you should be able to see someone doing it live. Hopefully, that's the. I mean, like, there's got to be somewhere, because I mean, those who do it, like, you figure it out. So we have to figure it out from somewhere, right? Personally, I do not do group signals. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in the future at some point. I don't personally mess around with that. I have a bad taste in my mouth from the Twitter callers and things like that. I just personally don't like it. I'm in a group. Personally, I don't run the group. I'm in it. I have a link down below for those who are interested. 93 likes are almost there. If you guys don't mind hitting the thumbs up, hitting the likes, let's get 100 likes. I appreciate it. I'm in one. That's been awesome. But, you know, it's just me. I maybe one day, but at the same time, I don't like the people on Twitter. I think it's just kind of, I want to distance myself from that crowd, you know. I'd prefer to show from experience so people can, you know, get something out of what I show, and ideally become your own trader. investor, whatever you want to do. Everyone's going to have their own strategy, own style. So I don't think you need to kind of, and that stuff is awesome for learning. It's so good to learn from someone like that. But you know, I personally don't do it as of right now, and I don't want to, especially because I play penny stocks, so you got to be careful. You know, I don't, not that like, you know, pumpers and whatever, you know, you got to be careful. I don't know how you can get screwed, SEC and whatnot. I'm sure you can. I don't know how they can necessarily find these guys. We hit 100 likes. I appreciate you guys, everyone who has hit the thumbs up button. Other than that, though, we'll see what happens. I hope to do more of these lives, share from experience. Hopefully there's some more good experience in there, sharing at least what I have learned along the way. And then hopefully you guys can take that, you know, as you see fit. That's it, you know. Ideally, this video should stay up. This live should stay up on the channel, so you should be able to go back and rewatch it. Appreciate that. DLPN is one that I've been looking at too. Usually jumps on earnings, which should be Monday. Okay, so that's one to put on watch as well. GameStop, I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. XPEV has been popping pretty good. I'll look at, like, I know we're getting a bunch of comments here at the end. I'll look at a couple last ones. I'll look at GME, and then we'll wrap things up. It's finding some support, so it's putting in some higher lows, so it's trying to uptrend here. I would like it to hold over $10. Under 10, I wouldn't like it. Let's see if $10 can hold up a support. Let's see. Exactly, Larry. Like, that's the whole point. Like, you asking why, and that's a problem too with people who get caught up into the alerts and all that stuff, because you find yourself sometimes not asking why. You just do it, you know, and maybe you make money and maybe it works out, but wouldn't you want to be the guy who can, you know, or girl, whatever, a guy or gal, right, who can come off and from those groups and do it yourself and just have a laptop or whatever, and if you ever, you know, wanted to be traveling or doing whatever, like, that's what I think is cool. So I don't think it's ideally, you don't want to always be following, you know, somebody or alerts and stuff like that. So hopefully the channel can help. It's all free stuff. All I ask is for you to drop a like on the streams, on the stuff, but that's really it. Awesome. Appreciate it, Jordan. You know, I appreciate you guys for jumping in. We're going to have more lives every single Sunday night. I'll look at Bob. I forgot. Every single Sunday night we do a live stream. So for those who are new or just subscribed or whatever, Baba's dropped down here. This should hold up. I like this area right here. This is like that 260-ish area. Let's see if it holds up around this 260. If not, maybe 250 could be a better buy-in. But it fell out of this uptrend that we had going on. So there's that. Check out the Trading Fraternity. Yeah, I actually used to watch. I used to watch his stuff. I used to be on the stream back when I was at my internship, like last summer. I'd be at my like job with a headset on. Meanwhile, I got like his stream going on during the day, which is fun. So there's that. Beyond Meat, I think, is going to be good for a long-term play. Personally, Baba long-term, I think, is probably fine. It's like one of those giants. Honestly, I think it's gonna be fine long-term. So this is a good dip. I think if you're looking to get into Baba, like, you know, long-term, this is the dip opportunity. So appreciate you guys, you know, tuning in. Please, on the way out, drop a like on this. This should stay up on the channel when I close it down. So hopefully you guys get something out of it. It should be, you know, hopefully a good Friday. Hopefully we all do well tomorrow. Hopefully, you know, things keep going good. My long-term account's up. This Webull account, I actually can't trade because I'm waiting for it to transition to a cash account. So that will be that. Appreciate you guys again. Last little kind of regards. Links down below to any resources that have helped me. This is the Webull desktop platform. 3 free stocks. That expires in 4 days. The 16th, at least as of now. Maybe they extend it. But those are, deposit $100, get 3 free stocks. You can trade from 4 a.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern, which is like awesome in terms of trading hours. So hopefully you take advantage of that while you can, while they have that incentive. And I will see you guys in a future video, or at least Sunday night's live stream. So enjoy, guys, and I appreciate you for coming in.